now, just fill that form out and we'll do that.
Yeah, good morning, everyone. Are you guys ready for the day? For day 3? So we're basically gonna do a small recap and then go through some applications of Lightning in Africa and then a bit of ideation. So you guys can come up with like ideas around problems you see Lightning can address. And then in the afternoon, we're gonna do hands-on API on Ibex platform. That's cool? All right. Yeah, this is gonna be a question. It's more what you've learned so far about Lightning. So what's Lightning? Anyone who can explain to anyone who got late? I should be seeing more hands than 0. Awesome.
Lightning is a layer 2 of user digital blockchain that allows for faster transactions than possible on the on-chain transactions.
That's good. Anyone else with a simpler one?
Lightning Network is a layer 2 solution to address the scalability issue.
Anyone else? There are like 3 points left. So there's scalability, there's a layer 2. So what's the difference between Lightning and all these other, let's say for example, our Web3 layer 2? What's the difference? Anyone who can get that? So we have other scaling solutions on other blockchains, but what's the difference between Lightning on Bitcoin compared to the others? There's one major difference.
I think the consensus mechanism still uses the blockchain, Bitcoin proof of.
That's close. It's something you've been receiving. Let me give you clues. Yeah, anyone wanna try?
I think the aspect of it.
You're close. You're close. The answer is right before you. Like, what's the difference between Lightning compared to other Web3 layer 2s? Yeah. It's a simple question. I think I should be giving 100 sats. It's you. Not really.
What I think is that Lightning allows for small transactions to carry out small transactions with small amounts.
Even the others do that. It's a very small. So, should I give you the answers? Or you want to give one last try?
Lightning is fast compared to other two stages of motion.
You guys are overthinking now.
Like other layer tools, they normally create their own like a small blockchain. Lightning kind of resolve the transaction on top of each other.
You're close. Just need a bit of refining. You're almost at the gate.
Oh, and Lightning uses Bitcoin. So
Yeah, he got it. Lightning uses Bitcoin. So as promised, 100 sats. Create an invoice. Yeah, that's what I was saying. You guys are overthinking. So the main difference is that Lightning doesn't create its own token. It uses Bitcoin. So in as much as it's a layer 2, it's still leveraging Bitcoin. So create an invoice for 100 sats, then I'll top that up. So what's Bitcoin's block time? Bitcoin's block time. And does it affect the Lightning transactions? So that's my question.
So it takes roughly 10 minutes to mine a block of Bitcoin, and that affects Lightning in the sense that when trying to create a channel, it may take you that time to provide channel to be confirmed as well as closing.
Awesome. He scooped everything. Maybe a clap for him. Another question. So what keeps your sats safe? Like when you open a channel, what guarantees whether Bob steals or doesn't steal your money or your sats? Maybe I should be deleting that. Or at least it's covered by the screen today. So there's no more Kenya for those who are looking for it. So anyone? Like how does Lightning ensure everyone is a good actor when you're doing transactions between each other?
In case of a malpractice or a fraudulent transaction, the network ensures that the money or the holding in the wallet is protected.
Yeah, that's good. Anyone else? There are a few points there.
The transactions are multi-sig, so all parties have to have signatures on them.
That's good. One last one.
so each of the parties are secret, talking that what is the information between the two parties which are transaction that will be.
That's good. I'm seeing you people were attentive. At least I didn't waste the ink. Yeah? Awesome. So, how many types of Lightning nodes do you have? Okay, let me start with implementations. And then go ahead and mention them. So, who's down for that? Lightning implementations and then the Lightning node types. Like Bitcoin, okay, that will be too easy anyway. So anyone, Lightning implementations? This guy is scooping too much, so.
Yeah, for Lightning implementations, I think we have a few. So starting down created in C, so C Lightning, and then another in Rust, in Rust, and then I don't know what the rest, but maybe let me name them. We have LND, Core Lightning, and the Eclair version.
The
Eclair version.
Eclair,
Yeah,
async.
I see.
Yes, he's right. So the other one is like By nodes, I meant like you can have a full lightning, like a lightning node connected to a full node, and then you can have a neutrino, the one I showed yesterday, whereby you just run lightning without basically having your own Bitcoin node. Awesome. That covers the first bit. So next we go to understanding African challenges. So basically, the reason we're doing this bootcamp is to inspire you to come up with solutions that, what do you call it? They deal with the current situations you're facing. So mostly, when you talk about Bitcoin solutions, we don't want you to come up with jargon solutions. Start with where you are, you as a person. What challenge are you experiencing, and how can you use either Lightning or Bitcoin to solve that? So the main issues are usually financial services, high remittance costs. In case you've ever tried to receive a global payment, you usually see the delay. And then if it's a big transaction, you find you have to answer to the government, or the bank has to summon you in order to sign papers. And among the biggest issues in Africa, it's something called cross-border payments, whereby for you to transact business with, let's say I'm in Kenya and I'm transacting with a Ugandan, there's still a big barrier there. So those are part of the things. I don't want to give you the answers because I wanted to group you people, like sit in groups. How many are we? Obviously, how many are you on the list? I wanted us to do like a 15 minutes brainstorm so people can come up with an idea, jot the strong points, and let's see. So I guess groups of 5, since you're 25. At least try and group yourself with someone you haven't interacted with.
This table here, this table's here.
At least 5 groups.
You can join these guys. You guys here. You guys there. Them. No.
Yeah, and also you're gonna do a small pitch. So let it not be, what do you call it? Let it be an idea you can implement after this. Like whatever you do after the workshop, like you can go, you guys can still be together and implement. Be in a disconnect. In a disconnect. I think there should be five each, 5 for each group. Join one table. I think just join. Yeah. So this is a group. That's a group. Like an idea you can implement with Lightning. Yeah. Yeah, just an idea. Ideation. Think of a problem, give it a name. Yeah. How you think Lightning addresses it. Yes. Just something basic. Something you can sell as a product. Let's say you were to get funding. Not me, like everyone here. So everyone is clear on what we're doing?
I would repeat the rules one more time.
Tunatumia tu nataka kusikia tu sauti za group.
So the rules are, you know, the problems you're experiencing here locally.
I think it's good if
So we'll try and
we
see
include
what again
we get
the,
inclusive
whether it's a
because he
financial
doesn't get what we are talking about.
what
Yeah,
impact
so
you
probably we
just
should
mentioned
use
about,
English and
right? And
I'm
then justify how
I don't
lightning
know
will be different.
what ideas do you guys have or do you think we
So
should
that's clear.
tackle? I think specifically we are supposed to be targeting Africa because it's themed understanding Africa's challenge. And yeah, in Africa we have like literally millions of problems that are yet to be solved.
Yeah, but for me, if I hit the nail.
But the other thing, there's already some clues in case you're blank.
So tulikuwa sema KRA is the problem. So one thing the problem we have is overtaxation, and another one is double taxation, and then inflated VAT for when you're buying goods and commodities anywhere. So for a solution tutakuwa tunatafuta anything that avoids the double taxation and then in a bypass and over taxation for people who are trying to do transactions and for businesses. Yeah, I think that's our main goal. Now, how do we do that in Bitcoin and Lightning Network?
Yeah. No, because we have multiple sets of IDs which comes with various regimes. Like if today ex-president is in power, he will roll out a new card. Tomorrow he is a president, he will roll out a new card. So we have multiple IDs which which will also help in mapping the migration in the African continent, because we have people who come in from overseas, people coming in from Somalia, Tanzania, and other neighboring countries, wherein they have these fake IDs created, and I think that there was an issue with some migrant population.
So somehow they're getting fake IDs.
Yes.
So what's to stop someone, like I say you're the authority on that ledger,
Uh-huh.
you're issuing IDs, I say here's $1 million, put my fake ID in the blockchain. Now I've got a fake ID in the blockchain.
Ah. No,
The blockchain does this. You put garbage in, garbage stays in.
I know. I understand. I understand.
Speaker,
Yes.
expensive, the charges.
Yeah.
Yes. So,
So, Monica?
it takes a lot of time. Sindio. Now, something else ni angalia currency yetu vile behave. Unaiweka ikiwa in leo tuko 150, kesho tuko tuko 100, sindio? So there is no per se, there is no that guarantee or safety. Now,
Volatility
the local currency is very volatile. So that should be another gap around it. And the weakness, you'll notice it as compared to foreign currencies. Currencies that we as Africans are very weak. Yeah.
Weak currency,
Yes. So I think for big payments hapo hizo ndizo the major ones naona.
Oh, what? No, 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 no. Put it.
No, I want you to
on-
talk. Oh, but si lazima niongee. Oh. Sasi.
So basically what I wrote was problems you're experiencing locally and what impact you want the solution to.
So the question you're answering is when you're lightning in solve these problems. Ama?
So you need to identify first the problem. If you have the problem, now you can get the solution.
Okay, we have the problem. So the solution is coming from lightning.
Yeah, how are we going to build that solution? Like, how are we going to solve it?
Okay, like the first one, limited access to financial services. How lightning is solving that problem? How we can use lightning to solve the problem? Yeah.
So we are using the same challenges when you're presenting.
We're using those challenges and others if we have them
Okay.
to show how lightning will like venye itakaa hizo. Hi.
The problem. Okay. Hi.
Hatuko sawa.
But then like maybe
Oh, nishike tu. Oh, sawa.
pia akiwa solo. Like akitaka kwa solo hakuna shida bora tu anaweza tu ile research kikanga.
Zizi, but cheki tusemikaa sahi practical. Mzai wangu sahi ndo ako home. Yeye ndo atadeal na coffee. Like hakuna msee mwingine. So yeye ndo atachuna apeleke kwa corporation na time ya kulipa si obvious umlipa anaendea do kwa bank. So hii ni kitu ashazoea. So imagine huyu ni mzee wangu tuseme hata hana smartphone. Ako tu na kale kanini feature phone. So akiwa na feature phone anaweza hizi makiwa kwanza ushaona isha iko nje. But kuna machankura hii nini machankura hiyo ya SSD code. Bali inaweza kuwa fiti juu si na nini ni kulipa tu na message tu ka M-Pesa. Kuna nini kuna bado on na off ramp.
In Africa, we have investments, which we call them chamas. So in chamas, they usually deal with the finances of the customers they're dealing with. And I think this is where Lightning Network comes in. Because most of the chamas, we have SACCOs and we have FOSA. So FOSA, it's different from SACCOs because they are not controlled by a CBK. FOSAs are like the small chamas you see in the Zamtani, the local ones. But also there are some which are registered and they operate, but still they are not controlled by CBK. So financially, as a solution, Lightning could come in there and disrupt the whole thing because you see in chamas, it's cash payments, and also you need a wallet.
Include unasikia kitu wanaongea intrude hii intrude kidogo yako sasa.
That
Inasema nini on air? Tenda na hii.
But then, what these things that are supposed to be taxed, those that are not supposed to be taxed.
Government wana manipulate the tax system ku overburden process. Unapata kuna mtu oil kulipa tax, but ikifika at a point amepigwa tax mingi hadi zinaona hizi hazimake sense really. Yes, kani tax naweza lipa nitalipa, but kuna ingine unaniambia nilipe. Kama kuna means ya kuepuka hii, nitaepuka juu najua hii si haiendi kwa vile tax inafaa. Nataka tu
Kama ni maybe like salary yako sawa, hata hiyo 30% yenu, lakini I'm doing a personal gift for someone, an individual, and then pesa napata.
Kama sahii walipitisha bill
Sasa unaona pale they make it so easy. So now that comes in to solve the issue kind of because sasa uko limited kufanya na KS
On a second layer, on top of that, faster and cheaper transaction. Operate the second layer on top of blockchain, allowing faster and cheaper transaction. So there's a click there, so you can select blockchain. Blockchain. Wanataka we space out, I think. Yeah, it's a one word, but yeah, just ignore it. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So what's the second problem?
hatukusikii.
Yes.
There is also money transfer within the country because current services are very expensive. So if someone has a Lightning channel, they can have a very low costs and instant payments. Yeah. So it's not just remittance from abroad, but also money circulating within the country.
Locally,
Yeah.
That's a good point. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we can also have another solution under the Lightning network, also local. Yeah.
Corruption inaingia hapo, like a ghost farm, vitu kaa hiyo, but saa with wanalipwa. So but if you have like easy based on the blockchain, every transaction iko recorded and it's going to an individual. So tulitaka
sasa ile sasa ya supply chain. How can you make sure that mse akileta 10 kgs of coffee na ensure like that stays that way like hiyo ni difficult because as in venye nilikuwa nataka kusema ni kama it's tamper proof but hiyo 10 kgs straight to tuseme labda huo farm but our farmers wanafaa kubringiwa the light
Coming back to the point where you said that the placing of ideas, you don't need to feature that. Now, when I receive money from them, it is giving you shillings and you are paying me shillings or whatever. But isn't my account recording that transaction? Isn't your account recording that transaction?
Every transaction on the ledger
Is a separate ID?
There's no IDs on the ledger. There's no recording of
I think
so the only link between
Are you getting the application? Or should they give you more time?
Presenters ndio utawapea hii.
So we told to add you 5 more minutes.
Currency tunapenda. Yaani that's the nature of currency. Every 5 years, every 10 years, currency you devalue by half. Yeah, that's the ego ya Kenya. Serikali yote. But Kenya 100 shillings every 10 years about 50. 50 over next 10 years about 25. So literally in 20 years, 100 shillings it about valued to 25. So you
That was
become secure in assets.
savings, like money is accountability of money. So like you see how circles go down. If you bring things on sheet, it's gonna be easy to track and
We later on to in a late range.
okay, yeah. But you have to bring them on sheet before bringing them on light.
Literally, unafaa kwanza na light introduce anybody juu sahi tunaongelea Bitcoin as payment. Sana sana lightning unaona Bitcoin as payment.
Open a lightning account.
You don't literally hiyo yani ndio on-chain uende lightning ni kama una create node. But wallet una download through a lightning wallet. Na uta receive directly kwa lightning. You won't deal with on-chain. Yeah, you won't deal with on-chain. Una download kama wallet of Satoshi, tume download sahi. Tume download sahi. Ame receive through lightning. Hakuna place. Na akisend atasend through lightning. Hata dina on-chain anywhere. Literally hakuna transaction hata kila kwa on-chain. Hata the final ikisetuliwa haitasetuliwa na hii wallet, ni node yenye inarun hii wallet. So the user as long as unatumia Lightning unaweza ingia utumie Lightning hata for 5 years unaweza ingia on-chain. As long as you're not traveling.
You guys also your
Still banging.
So 5 or 10 minutes.
10 more minutes.
Yeah. So
Umeandika nini hapa kwa watu?
sasa hivi as introduce beginners to on-chain wanaweza itoroka. Hata hawafai kujua on-chain, anafaa kujua hapo ametumia Lightning, atajua Lightning nini.
Sisi na tunajua iko on-chain. Pia hajui iko on-chain.
Lightning haiko on-chain.
But in those channels, lazima hiyo on-chain. Great channels.
Oh. But for businesses, yeah,
But then
ujue
you create them. Lazima tu create them.
okay, mwenye tunasolvia issue akona haja ya kurun channels, ngo channels hafai. Okay, channels ni kama
I think I have a better idea. It's using MMFs, right? How do they make money? Unaenda unaongelea government bonds unapata 10% at the end of the year, right? So if you can manage tuseme tunaleta savings, tuna create a payment channel for you, like tuseme sisi ni tumirana node, right? Then ukileta funds zako tuzitumie to make to facilitate transactions
Or create liquidity.
yeah, create your liquidity, you get 5% maybe at the end of the month.
Alafu hiyo 5% itoke kwa that.
So you're making money.
Policy enforcement. Policy enforcement. You know how to better define it.
You guys, you have had it. you have had it. What I'm saying, you have understood it. You have gotten the
Through
grasp.
Lightning Network.
We can enforce policies like environment degradation.
That's just for example, like
that's
environment.
Yeah.
And then
just simplify it into just something.
environment and supply chain.
In the supply chain.
The point two was the circle.
We need blockchain-based circles, you know, they're blockchain-based circles.
Blockchain-based circles. Lightning-based.
Lightning-based circles. So you can even see like a circle can create a channel into another circle. You get along. Because today we have so many silos. So many circles are secluded. You see, and then they only go to the bank for higher incentivized loans. But when you bring in the Lightning Network, they no longer have to go fetch loans with higher interest.
You see, actually, for these circles, what they do, for the FOSA, what they do, they loan you against your share because they are not controlled by the CBK. You get me? Like, if you go to KCB today, you are going to, I'm a Steamer Circle, they can give you a loan out of their money. But you have to give a security, right? But for FOSA, they loan you against your share. Let's say you have 50K in the pool, FOSA pool. They are going to give you 50K based on your share. So your share is still there, but now they've given you 50K, yeah? So now once you'll be repaying, you'll be repaying at a very low interest. Very low interest.
So they're not,
and also
dependent on the central banks just because one are part of the fiat from them.
Exactly, and they manage it themselves. Also, it's different because. Let me. What are your points?
You elaborate. But I get what you mean. Like
so we have
it's an institutional finance system.
What I want to say. So, these people who are loaning, who are taking loans, you get consigned by someone who has enough shares of what you have borrowed. You get me? So the circle will never lose.
I get what you mean.
They leverage you. Like two of you have 50K, and I'm borrowing 50K. So I come, you sign me up for the loan. Also, my share is locked. You get me? But I'll be the one paying back.
I get you. Then that's so deep because that's like virtual tokens and credit scores.
Yeah, it's like a credit score kind of, but it's not.
But you see, then you can also. I don't think if you've captured for the one for supermarket, the supermarket can create the invoices based on what you've purchased. Exactly. Then you just
that's what we are talking policy enforcement.
Yes.
Policy enforcement.
Yes.
Yeah.
But your policy
more secure. Because more secure,
more secure, and more fast.
So for that policy enforcement, okay, we can structure that problem to accommodate the supermarkets, like to create invoices and the environmental degradation.
Yeah, everything.
So how could we better put it?
Like look at KEBS. What does KEBS do?
These are small scale businesses.
Yeah, small scale businesses. KEBS.
Yeah,
KEBS implements standards.
Yes, quality standards. But now look, history standards. Like when I'm buying this, do I understand the history of this thing? No. You see? Now when the Lightning Network comes here, like you have the history standards of a product to get.
Yeah.
Like
You have from the manufacturer,
from the manufacturer
who has been supplying them with the raw materials to make this stuff.
Yeah.
Because that's another industry solution. By the way, it's big. It's very big.
It's very big.
That one is very big.
To mitigate ethics, corruption, anti-corruption, Lightning would be the best.
Yes, 24 seconds. That's right.
So, what do we?
Because encompass all of that.
Situweka katikati au hapa.
Umeandika nini?
Yeah, like he mentioned it recently.
But sasa kwa when it comes to FOSA,
Yes.
even if you default, you already have your shares in there, which they loaned you against. So they are just going to fuliza your shares.
Yes.
You get?
Hey, you're adding another aspect of security, finance security.
Yeah, it's a finance security because most people will take a loan from hizo chama kidogo, and then they default on them.
Okay,
but when you set it up as like a FOSA,
to eliminate one from the list.
To eliminate one. Because what you're trying to put in is like that aspect of policy enforcement and who should get the loan, who should do all that things, consensus, all those things.
Yes, correct.
Like then put a lightning channel that can allow people to vote. And
on who will get
money, and
or is he qualified to get a loan?
Is he qualified? Like there are consensus measures put in place.
Yes.
Sounds pretty good.
I agree.
All right, guys, we're wrapping up here. One quick thing. We have 30 people signed in today, but I only have EA all the Satoshi addresses. Who didn't do this? Raise your hand. Okay, perfect.
So package it all up into just a one problem statement. Like
Which problem are we
addressing?
Which problem do you think we should address?
Which problem do you think we should address?
Like,
we have 2 points there. Policy enforcement and ethics through lightning. This is basically for industries to track the supply chain, whatever, and also up to the end consumer of the product.
Problem that I face is also delay of
Delay of
payments.
Delay of payments too.
small scale businesses.
So which one do you think it's more like haina jargon mob? Which one do you think haina jargon mob? Haina jargon mob. It's easier to like it takes a shorter time to come to like pitch. Like because that is one thing we should consider.
Nice. So, hi everyone. I think maybe if you could just review the first slide. The first slide. The first slide. Yeah. So, basically, understanding Africa's challenge to limited financial services, we've actually managed to cover how we gave a practical example of how our financial institutions actually operate. So we actually got to see how blockchain has actually come to give out a basic solution to this by actually, maybe you can control your own node, you are able to control your own node, develop your own node, undertake financial transactions through the same platform, no limited access to the amount of money that you are able to withdraw or maybe receive at the same time. So basic solution to limited access to financial services is basically going the blockchain way, investing in blockchain, developing a particular node, investing in your node, and getting your profit at the end of the day. In terms of high remittance costs, we talked about a practical example like M-Pesa or maybe PayPal, and we got to see on how these platforms actually limit our access to the kind of transactions that we can normally do in a particular moment or a day. If you can get to your M-Pesa app currently or right now, or review any of your messages, you'll get one of the notes down there telling you that for this particular day, this is actually the maximum amount that you're able to transact. So we've seen that, we've actually realized that with blockchain, like now in this context, actually, the Africa Lightning Bootcamp actually has enlightened us on how basically this one can be solved. We've seen that with blockchain, actually, we've seen that with remittance costs, it's actually zero when you get to blockchain. And with the M-Pesa or maybe PayPal, you get to see that this remittance cost has actually managed to, maybe in terms of development has actually become so slow. We got to also develop one in terms of how we can maybe bring up this to the youths, how we can bring up a basic integration of this into a real world project like now the Africa Bootcamp Lightning institution. Then lastly, we discussed about the education and access to resources. We came to realize that basically as Kenyans or maybe as youths, once I introduce an idea to one of my fellows and tell him that maybe I'm investing in blockchain, one of the immediate ideas that comes to his or her mind is that you're investing in a scam. But actually we've come to realize that that's not true. One is investing in Forex, one is investing in blockchain. we've realized that these two platforms are actually very much different and they operate in different platforms at the same time. With sensitization, we've also come to realize that blockchain actually operates in a different perspective, and a fellow introduced something like Binance. When you get to a Binance platform, you realize that Forex is on the same platform. You can do P2P in the same platform, but in real sense, these two things are actually very different. So maybe educating one on how you can operate in a particular blockchain ecosystem is actually good in terms of how one can develop his or herself in a particular node, or how one can empower his or herself on how to undertake a transaction within a node or within a blockchain ecosystem. Thank you.
Yeah, so that's the first group. Kindly keep it Bitcoin and Lightning. We're not doing blockchain, so point of correction. The second group.
Okay, so for us, the first huge challenge we identified is with cards, debit cards and credit cards mostly, and this happens in like most parts of the world, and most people have fallen victim to this, where you expose your card information, you know, your personal information, you expose it by maybe swiping in public places. I think recently there was a case where a certain supermarket was accused of retaining people's card information, and who knows what they do with it. You know, sometimes you're just sitting and then you get a notification on your phone that your card has been used to purchase an iPhone 15 Pro Max, and that's your salary, or maybe a loan you got, and then you know it's just gone. So we identified Bitcoin or Lightning as a solution to that because you know, security in Bitcoin and in Lightning is dependent on, like, once you've done your part, like you're not exposing your keys, your wallet is secure, like your phone is secure with your passwords and all that, the underlying infrastructure is secure enough, you know, you won't find people tapping into that information. As long as you've done your part in securing your devices and your wallet, then you don't have to worry about security that is underlying. So that was one. There was also the issue of centralization. So our current bank systems are centralized, and you find that, okay, imagine me saving like 10 years or like 10 years savings in a certain bank account, and then because the system is centralized and you know there is this thing where purchasing power is always reducing. You know, purchasing power is always reducing, and it's kind of approximated that like in 5 years, your purchasing power will have reduced by 50% approximately. So you having your savings there, your 10 years life savings, and then realizing that 10 years later, it can't do for you the things that it would have done for you when you started saving, it's really disheartening. So channeling those funds into Bitcoin and Lightning would be better. I mean, yes, there's fluctuations with the rates as well, but it's not a guaranteed downward trend. You know, there are chances for you to benefit and to gain from it. Yeah, I think we also mentioned the issue of overtaxation and double taxation, especially in our country, where our tax institutions will try to overexploit your funds. It doesn't matter whether you get them from a business or it's your personal funds. So channeling your personal funds, okay, I mean, it's okay to be taxed. We can't run a country without being taxed. But then there's an extent to it. You can't just be charging like my personal funds and my savings. So I would love to have a platform like Bitcoin or Lightning where I can channel my funds and I can be sure that no one is trying to tax them without my consent. Yeah.
That's good. It's true. You guys didn't hit the stage of giving your groups names. Just anonymous companies.
Hello everyone. Okay. Okay, hello everyone. Okay, my group was exploring the possibility of living life off fiat completely. Off fiat. Like most of us, if given the opportunity, would prefer like to have all our money in something which can hedge against inflation. Like the previous year, we have seen the Kenya shilling go to 150 against the dollar, 130. It's been a roller coaster. But Bitcoin, on the other hand, the previous year, it was at 22K, April last year. Right now, it's almost triple. So if you could check the prices of commodities against the Kenya shilling over the past year, we can see that inflation has been really hitting us. Milk from 50 to 65. But if you can live off fiat, now what you're thinking of is a platform in which a person can pay this for normal commodities using the satoshis. So you go to, let's say, a smoky vendor. You go and you want a smoky. You enter the app. We haven't yet come up with a name. So you enter the app. You type in the amount you want to pay, and then it's converted into sats. These sats are then sent to our own platform where we keep the sats. But then we have a liquidity of Kenya shillings already in. We are maintaining a liquidity of Kenya shillings, which is provided by our peer, not any bank, not any institution. Maybe you have idle assets like 10,000 lying somewhere in your M-Pesa. You deposit also on that platform, and we'll use it to channel payments to these people who require their settlement in fiat. And then by the end of the week, we see how much you have contributed to our liquidity, and we give you something because we charge a fees for these people who don't want to off-ramp. Like if we charge you 10%, we give 5% to the person who facilitated the payment. So this will allow for a person not to have, you don't need to have a bank account. You can live only on Bitcoin. And as we've seen over the past 10 years, things have been going cheaper against Bitcoin. Like Bitcoin could buy you a pizza in 2008, now it can buy you a Lamborghini. So that's what we came up with.
I'm seeing as we continue, the gears are going higher. So what's the next group? Good stuff. The next group.
Yeah. Hello, I'm Brian Gishuhi. I'm one of the core team in a startup called Jua. And basically what we discussed with our team involved trying to understand our challenges as well as come up with the solutions. So one of the challenges we are facing as Africans is majorly concerning cross-border payments. And what I mean by cross-border payments is you're in Kenya, you are going on a vacation in Zanzibar, you're going on a vacation in Tanzania. How do you convert your Kenya currency, KES,
to Tanzanian shillings. How do you do it? How do you convert to Ugandan shillings? And basically, the normal way, or the current and what I'll call the traditional way, is you go to the border or you go to the bank and you convert based on the exchange rates, right? Now, if you have assets in form of SATs, in form of BTC, and majorly I'll be using SATs because, as you know, in Kenya, economy yetu, it's not a multi. Okay, we are a trillion. I think we are $1 billion company, but hatujafika trillion yet. Not company, but country. But basically, I'll use SATs because they offer micropayments to as low as $1. And as we know, hakuna vile utaenda uambie mama mboga you want to convert ama unamwambia I want to bank with $100. That's in our current economy, that's almost impossible. So we have platforms that utilize these kinds of technology, Bitcoin or SATs per se. And one example I will say is, Binance. So what you do is you can do a peer-to-peer transaction, convert your assets into the desired local currency that you want to convert. But now the major issue that comes with having a bigger company doing it is that they are doing it at a scale that is a bit bigger than what we can handle. So, for example, the minimum you can do with Binance in a P2P is around $10, right? $10 right now goes for around $128, $129 per dollar. So that's around $1,200, $1,300. Now, if such a corporation you're doing, as minimum as $10, how will the local mwananchi be able to do or be able to trade us for as low as $1? And as we know, only around 43% of Africans are actually banked, and this is traditionally. So the bigger group of, or the bigger section of us is literally not banked. So what we can do is we first need to create the awareness, within our society, within, cultivate the culture to do or to store assets digitally, because if around only 40% are banked, it means most people wanaweka chini ya mattress, right? So we need to first sensitize and make sure that all, more people are banking digitally. And the easiest way, I would say, is to give awareness. And something like Lightning Network, what it does is it gives us the power to do smaller transactions and in a fast, efficient way. Now imagine M-Pesa on steroids, because M-Pesa it's only in Kenya, TZ, UG, but you are transacting on SATs both cross-border, abroad, and within our continent. And I will say we first need to, sensitize. People need to know first about the said product, even before implementing the said product. We discussed, we discussed was cross-border and banking. Cross-border, which we said will be solved with peer-to-peer trades, and unbanking, or the us being unbanked, what we do is we just need to create more awareness to people, so that It's so easy. I mean, it's easier to send using SATs nowadays than it is to send using M-Pesa, because one, it's cheaper, and it's way faster than M-Pesa. So I think that was it from our group.
That's good. This is the next group.
Yeah.
So thank you for the chance. My name is Wycliffe, and we named our group Satoshi Street. So basically, we had 3 problems that we wanted to address through Lightning use cases. So number one, we saw that there is a potential in Lightning Network to enforce policy enforcements and ethics through this network, because basically, like we've seen in environmental degradations, that people trashing everywhere. So if Lightning Network can be used in the purchase of goods, and we have invoices that can keep track of whoever bought this asset and dumped it, then policy enforcements can be enforced through that mechanism. I don't know if you ingested my point. That was number one. So number two, we saw an opportunity whereby Lightning Network can be integrated in small-scale businesses, like in the supermarkets. We've seen that there is a lot of delay, also in the mobile payments. In supermarkets, there is a lot of queues, whereby the payment sometimes is not working. It's a lot. The jam is just not good. So with Lightning, supermarkets can create invoices whereby the QR is just there. You scan, boom, and it's done. So that was another idea. We can also implement that in small-scale businesses like hotels. And for the third point that we wanted to address was Lightning-based circles. We've seen the circles in Kenya. Like we can also talk of the so-called chamas. Mostly women do it. Women, we've seen them do it, and sometimes others run with the funds for others. So, but with Lightning, you can implement multi-signatures wallet that can require a number of people to sign. So you can sign the transactions without the consent of others. And with these 3 points of ours, I think it will be revolutionary to implement Lightning Network. Thank you.
The gears keeps rising. So who's the next group? I think you have one more, right?
Thanks. Hi guys. Just like other groups, ours didn't have a name. But one of the problems we identified is high remittance costs. Lightning operates in a second layer on top of blockchain, allowing faster and cheaper transactions. So the other point we got there was cheaper money transfer cost locally. So transfer, okay, let me just say money or sats or Bitcoin. Locally, it's way cheaper, and thus facilitates cheap transaction to those who rely on small transaction daily. And that's what Africans will do. Like, we do small transaction daily. Like, we find for us Africans, we go to buy quarter askari than just buying a large scale. So it does facilitate cheap transaction for those who rely on small transaction daily. Another problem we did find out was delay or slow transaction. Lightning Network offers instantaneous transaction, which is fast and thus increases, and thus its speed is efficient or way too fast. The other problem was limited access to financial services. Lightning has mobile wallet integration, which gives convenience that can be accessible to many people without proper documentation. So to open a bank account or different financial services like SACCOs, you need proper documentation, and Lightning does cut all that, and you don't need all those proper documentation. This is the mechanism. It does reduces barriers for individuals that have not been eligible to access traditional banking services. So anyone can access financial services through the Lightning network. The other problem we got was the education and access to resources. So there are those donors or people who want to donate funds to African countries or just Africans and they want to be anonymous. So Lightning network does the anonymity part, and you cannot be known while doing the transaction using the Lightning network. That was it from our group.
Thank you. That was a good session. Hope you've learned something. Shall we do the draws, or who do you think won in this first section? Yeah? So, yeah, that was good. I think we're going to have a short break, and then we'll proceed after that. Once again, clap for yourselves. Yeah, at least I'm seeing whatever we've been teaching hasn't gone to waste. I like those people who said about multi-sigs, circles, protecting you.
So you see how you came up with solutions in like the whole meeting. So now there are more different related hackathons, and actually there's gonna be one soon. So yeah, that continue learning and then focus on the solution. Hey, it is una mesa.
Is it on the website yet? The announcements? Not yet. Okay. But keep an eye on Bitrust Builders. They'll be announcing an African-wide hackathon soon. And it's building on Bitcoin and Lightning. And yeah, the prize money is good, can help you bootstrap your idea. So keep an eye on it. So that's the website. And for those willing to be cohorts, you can always apply. So they usually have a fellowship program. So feel free to apply. Okay, thank you. We can have the short break, then we convene in 15 minutes.